What is up, you guys? So I'm back with another video. As you guys can see on my channel, today we're going to be talking about why I chose a PWI over a HBCU. So, before we get into that, I hope you guys are enjoying the content back to back all about ODU. If you guys want any more content about ODU that I have not already posted, feel free to comment down below or just DM me on Instagram, because I really want to help the incoming class out because of COVID. Obviously, you guys can't ask the questions or you can't do tours and stuff like that. So anything else you guys want to see or know, I could make a video as fast as possible. And yeah. Also, before we start this video, I do want to say these are my personal opinions on why I chose a this is why I chose a PWI rather than the HBCU and stuff like that. So I don't want anybody like, oh, you don't know anything X, Y, and Z, because this is my experience on why I chose a PWI. So without further ado, let's get into this video.
Hey, pop the trunk, I open up, I sold my soul a good price, out of sight, my whole got talent.
So, where should I start? Okay, I'm gonna take it back even before, was I in middle school? Or was I freshman? I'm gonna take it back to freshman year, because this is really where it all started. So freshman year, my god sister, like, she's pretty much my cousin, Tasia, I will like insert a picture of her like somewhere on the screen, but she was of course years older than me. Well, not years, but a couple years older than me, and she was looking at colleges and trying to decide where she should go. So in the midst of that, I went on college tours with her. We did tour a lot of HBCUs. We toured Spelman, Clark. What else did we tour? Did we tour Bennett? I think we did. But we did tour some HBCUs. So I already got the feel of an HBCU my freshman year. My freshman year, I was not against HBCUs and I was not against PWIs. Honestly, I had no idea where I wanted to go or what I even wanted in a school. So none of this was stemmed from no parents or anything. My parents and family never swayed my decision on whether or not I should go to an HBCU or a PWI. Nothing like that. Everything was my choice. If I wanted to go to a PWI, I was allowed to. It was no judgment or anything. And if I wanted to go to a HBCU, that was okay too. So now, let's get into like sophomore year. So my sophomore year, of course, I did go look at more schools with other family friends and other family members and everything like that. I did go look at more HBCUs and stuff like that. So at this point, I was pretty familiar of an HBCU. However, I had been looking at some PWIs. Too, it wasn't just like all HBCUs. I did look at PWIs and everything like that, and they were nice too. It was not like, oh, I don't like HBCUs, I don't like PWIs. I still was unsure on what I wanted in a school. So, oh, sorry guys, my aunt is calling me. Hello. Hey, can I call you right back? I'm filming a video. Oh, okay, cool. Alright, bye. Okay, back to what I was talking about. But so sophomore year, once again, I didn't really know what I wanted. I didn't know if I liked HBCUs or if I didn't like HBCUs, and I didn't know if I liked PWIs and didn't like PWIs. All I knew was I did not want to stay in state. That's all I knew by my sophomore year. I knew I wanted to go out of state. Now comes my junior year, which really was when like college like started really becoming a play, and I'm thinking about schools and everything like that. So when it really came time, I still was doing tours and everything like that. I had a cousin that went to the same school as me, Paris. I'll put a picture of her somewhere on the screen too. But she was looking at some HBCUs, and she also looked at PWIs. And I'm a legacy at Temple, so we did go look at Temple because my cousin did want to go to Temple at the time. We looked at Maryland, we looked at Penn State. Where else did we look at? I feel like we looked at so many more schools, and now I'm just not remembering any. Yeah, and then towards the end of my junior year, I did go see USC. I did see UCLA. At one point in time when I was younger, and even like the beginning of high school, I was very big into like LA and California and stuff like that. I wanted to go to UCLA. I wanted to go to I was considering USC. It was never like, oh, I don't want to go there, whatever, but I was considering the schools. So I was actually out in LA for vacation or for like a program that I was part of, People to People, and the first stop was LA. So that's where I really got to see everything. And then when we came back, my mom and everything stayed with me. I did not go back to Maryland. I stayed in LA, and I got to see more of college campuses and stuff like that because we were already out there. And in that moment, I'm like, this is not for me, because I did not like LA. I hated LA. Like, it just was a no for me. So right then and there, I was like, okay, time to cross some schools off my list. Like, don't want to go here. Then I started considering Arizona State because I had family out there. I think Arizona State was like my furthest school, but other than that, I had schools like all up the coast of Maryland and everything, like from Florida to like New York. I would say I don't think I applied to any schools higher than New York. Yeah, so yes. And then my senior year comes, and I still had no idea where I really wanted to go, whatever. My top school at one point in time was, these were my top schools: Arizona State, Temple University, LSU. Where else? I did at one point in time wanted to go to North Carolina A&T. So I did have an HBCU on my list. I knew I did not want to go to Hampton. I think that was pretty much it. Yeah, I think those were my top. I think I had like one more top, but I did have top schools. So I did have at least one HBCU, and I did apply to more HBCUs. I applied to Virginia State, North Carolina A&T. Where else I applied? That I only applied to 2. I think I did only apply to 2. Norfolk. Why am I struggling? Norfolk State, I was about to apply to, but I didn't finish the application. And Lincoln. Yeah, so I applied to like 3 or 4 HBCUs. The rest were PWIs. I think in total I applied to about 13, 14 schools. Just because I had no idea where I wanted to go, what I wanted in a school. I just had no idea, honestly. So when it came time to it, I was just like, yeah, this is a no. So let me tell you why I started crossing out HBCUs. So pretty much I applied to North Carolina A&T, and I was really like wanted to go to North Carolina A&T at one point in time. And my cousin was transferring from Bennett to North Carolina A&T because Bennett had already like shut down, and they were going through some funding issues, and they were going to shut down, or if you didn't graduate a certain amount of time, technically you didn't really, it wasn't accredited college and all of that. So my cousin was already transferred to A&T, and we were like this close. We were close in high school. So I was like, yes, I'm gonna be down there with her. I'm gonna party with her. Like, I'm gonna have a friend already. I'm gonna be with my family. Like, that was like my mindset. So I was so excited to like apply to A&T. So excited, like, oh my god, like I hope I get into A&T. Like, I really want to go to A&T. Whatever. So this is why I did not go to A&T, because I definitely do think if I would have like actually like applied and actually got in, I would have gotten the A&T. And I know you guys are like, what? Because I did apply to A&T, but I sent my transcripts off to A&T, and I had to pay my school to send transcripts, which was $5 a transcript for every school. Mind you, I applied to like 10 plus schools, so I was already putting out a lot of money. So pretty much A&T lost my transcript. I had to pay again for my school to send the transcript, because I was like, oh, it's okay, like, you know, it's a hectic time, it's at the peak time, like, whatever. I still wanted to, because at this time, I did get denied from Arizona State, so I was like, okay, that's out of the picture. Maybe if I want to go back, I'll transfer, or whatever, but that was just out of the picture. So I'm like, yes, like, okay, I don't get an Arizona State, okay, I was kind of hurt, but I was like, that's okay, because I still have a list of schools that I want to go to, and that I could get into. I sent my transcripts a second time. They get lost again, and the only reason I figured out they got lost is because you have a portal, obviously, and your portal will show you like when something has been received, but it also tells you up on top like what's the time that it should be waited, and like you should wait to call and see your transcripts or whatever test scores or whatever got in. So I think it was like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, or sometimes like maybe it's like 1 to 3 weeks. 4 weeks went by and my transcripts were not in. So I was confused, and I called the school, and the lady picked up. She was so rude, so nasty to me, but that still did not stop me. I still was like, I want to go to A&T. So they lost my transcript by this time 3 times. I call again, someone else picks up. There's entire, like, just dismiss me, like, so rude, like, I don't know what you want me to tell me. It's not my fault. I just have to send them again, and maybe they just got lost. I'm like, but this is the 3rd time it got lost. Like, this is something on your behalf. Like, it's not on my behalf. It's on your behalf. Like, I have also a portal with my school to see when they send the transcripts and if the transcripts are received to the school, and it's showing on my portal, on my Naviance, that it was received. But A&T kept losing them, or they kept getting lost in the transition of trying to upload them to my portal or whatever, or to my application or whatever the case was. So I sent them again. At this time, I think I sent like 5 transcripts. Each one got lost. Each one. So I was like, okay, like this is annoying. I called again. They were so rude to me. Like to the point where you're just like, I was so frustrated, so irritated, just because it's like other people I knew that applied to A&T were already getting their decisions or whatever the case may be or whatever. And these people keep losing my transcripts and they want to be rude on the phone to me. Like I was so kind, so respectful, sitting on the phone with them like, hey, like I sent my transcripts 5 weeks ago or 8 weeks ago. They're still not putting into my portal. Like, can you tell me where I'm at in the application process? Can you tell me they were received or they just have not been uploaded? Like, have you guys received them? I'm so kind, so respectful, trying to like figure things out. And each time I was on the phone with someone, they were just rude. You can just tell they were frustrated. You could just tell it was unorganized in the back because you can hear people screaming in the back. It was just like so unorganized, and I was just like, okay. At that point, I said, can you please terminate my application, because I no longer want to apply here and I no longer want to come here. I do not care what the decision, if I got in or if I didn't get in. Please terminate everything. And they're like, are you sure? Yes, I am sure. Terminate my application. So they terminated my application, and I came home. I didn't really say anything, and I came home and I eventually told people like, yeah, I terminated it, and this is why I terminated it. And it was just so sad because it's like I kind of really wanted to go there because my cousin was going to be there. Okay, so that was the first HBCU that was like out. And then Virginia State, I was like, okay, my best friend, one of my best friends that my childhood friend was going. I was like, okay, cool, yeah, I'll go there. But Virginia State was not giving any money. I think they gave me like $500, if that. And when you really just weigh the pros and cons, and when you open both packets from a PWI to HBCU, at the end of the day, college is very expensive. And I'm not gonna lie and be like, oh my god, like this is so cheap. It's like, no, it's expensive. And I was not trying to take out a lot of loans in my name, and I didn't want my parents taking out a lot of loans in their name. So when I weighed it down, Virginia, like I said, Virginia State was probably give me $500, probably not even that. And I had a PWI give me $25,000, $30,000, $15,000, $10,000, and they're giving me $500. Like, so that was the reason why Virginia State ended up getting out of the thing, because it was just like I wasn't going to get any money, and at that time they said I didn't qualify for really any money or whatever the case may be, because I wasn't 18 at the time. I was 17, so I was still technically claimed under my parents' taxes and everything like that. So yeah, like I'm not trying to get too personal and stuff, but that's pretty much that side and everything. And then what other HBCU? And then honestly, when it just came down to it, I was just like, I don't want to pay thousands of dollars for a school that looks raggedy. I'm not, and I know that sounds so bad, and I know the schools are not really raggedy. The schools are just historical, and they want to maintain the historical things. But at the same time, if I'm paying $35,000, $45,000 or more for a HBCU, I expect some of the best of the best. Like, I expect pretty much, like, I'm not saying everything has to be all glorified and luxury and nice, but at the end of the day, it was just certain things that an HBCU had that it could not provide me than what a PWI could provide me. So it had nothing to do with race. It had nothing to do with me. I don't want to be with black people. I don't want to be with my own race. It had nothing to do with that. It honestly came down to money, and it came down to my education. Which school was going to provide me the best education? And when I weighed the pros and cons, personally, the HBCUs that I applied to were not going to give me the best education out of some of the schools that I did apply to. And that was that pretty much. And I didn't really touch on why I didn't apply to Clark, but I didn't apply to Clark for most. I didn't apply to Clark and a couple other HBCUs for a couple of reasons. Just because I just felt like it wasn't, I didn't feel home. I didn't feel at home there. I didn't feel comfortable. I was very just like, this is not for me type of thing. So, yeah. But back to what I was talking about. So, yeah, it just came down to it. And I was like, when I did the tours and everything of an HBCU, and I was just like, I'm not feeling this. I felt like HBCU was kind of catty. I feel like it was like, okay, HBCUs are typically small too. I didn't want to go to a small school. I wanted to go to either a medium-sized school or a big school. So that was another thing. And I also was just like, I'm just not feeling this. Like, I just went on tours and I was just like, no. So when it came down to it, all HBCUs that I applied to were out of the picture. It was just like, no HBCUs. I'm just going to stick to PWIs and, you know, move on. And I'm trying to give advice to and tell my story. For people who are still deciding between an HBCU or PWI, do not allow other people to influence your decision. It is your decision. You're going to be there for 4 years. You're going to have to live there. You're going to have to be a student there and be a part of the community. So really take that into account. Don't allow other people to influence your decision because they're pressuring you because you're black or you're this or you're that. You need to go to this school. You need to be with your race because, like I said before, every school is not for everybody. So keep that in mind and think about what you need and what you want, because at the end of the day, you're the only person who's going to know what you want and what you need in life. So yeah, but back to my story. So that was pretty much it. And then when it just came down to it, I was just like, yeah, no. Now, that's not to say I'm against HBCUs. That's not to say that at all, because my brother did go to HBCU for 1 year. But even then, my brother and some of my friends went to HBCUs, and I feel like you can get both sides. Some of my friends love their HBCUs, and then you have certain cases like my brother who absolutely hated his HBCU, and he went to Hampton University, for those who don't know. So honestly, and when you talk to him and when I talk to him, honestly, why he did not like his HBCU, I can see why. I can honestly see why. I don't want to talk too much about his like little situation, but the reasons that he does not want to continue at an HBCU is the same reasons why I did not want to go to an HBCU. One, he felt like it's too catty, it's too like high school, everything like that. Two, it's not worth the money. Three, it is ghetto and unorganized. Like, it is so unorganized to the point that you're like, this is ridiculous. I paid too much money for this to be unorganized. Like, it was so many things. I'm not trying to get too much in his personal business and his life, so I'm not going to go into details. But it was so many things that happened that it was just like, this is ridiculous. I paid too much money and I'm a student here and you guys treat me this way. Like, it was just so sad. And three, some of the things that people rave about at HBCU is the past HBCU. It's not the current HBCU. So people may be raving about Hampton, but it's Hampton as an overall, but they're not raving about Hampton how it is now. They're thinking about how Hampton was 15, 20 years ago. They're not thinking about how Hampton is currently in 2020. So yes, Hampton may have this wonderful light on it, but at the end of the day, it's that wonderful light from years ago. 10 years ago. It's not the light now. So just keep that in mind. I'm not going to really talk about that too much, but yeah. Now, those are pretty much the same reasons why I didn't choose the HBCU from the jump. But like I said, I chose a PWI. I was still grateful that I chose a PWI. I don't feel like I would really excel at an HBCU personally, but that's my personal thing. So I'm glad that I was at a PWI and I still am at a PWI and I still do go to a PWI, and in no way do I regret going to a PWI. In no way do I regret like, dang, like what if I would have went to an HBCU? Like, no. Like, at first I thought I was going to by not going to ANC, but overall I do not regret my decision of going to a PWI. Like I said, each PWI is different. Also, each HBCU is different. Each person experience is different. So just keep that in mind. I just told a little bit of my experience and my brother's experience, but each school is different and everyone's life is different and everyone's at a different point in their life and everyone, you know, is looking for different things in the school. So don't just base why you should go to PWI, why you shouldn't go to PWI based off of what I said, because like I said, things that I was looking for in the school may not be the same that what you guys are looking for in the school, and so on and so on. However, I'm very glad I go to PWI. I would not have wanted any other way. But without further ado, I do think that is all for today's video. So can you guys please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'm back with more videos. Adios.